away after 2 to 4 weeks. However, it can be severe, causing even death, especially among children, pregnant women, and those with other health conditions. For more information and support, contact your nearest health worker. Call the Ministry of Health's toll-free line on 0800 100 066 or send a free SMS to YouReport on 8500.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Good morning and thank you for being with us on UBC TV. Welcome to the Extra. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, and this morning we are going to be discussing issues regarding wealth and looking at the program known as Wealth Creation. Now, a number of Ugandans have heard of various programs that the NRM government or our government has been pushing, all aimed at eliminating or aimed at poverty alleviation. Now, some have yielded great success. Some could have had challenges. But this morning, we want to focus on the impact of the NRM Wealth Creation Initiative. And joining me on set for now, because I'm expecting 2 guests, but for now, I have Tom Nyiro, who happens to be an NRM cadre, and also one of the people that when you talk about wealth creation, really do understand this program. You're welcome to our studios and good morning.
Thank you. My name is Tom Nyiro. I'm a Kiswahili cadre at the NRM Secretariat. But I'm also one of the Ugandans that believe that the NRM government and His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has done a lot to move our country from where it was in 1986 to where we are. And we believe that great things are coming because of the pace that you have set for the nation. And since we are here to discuss the program of wealth creation, I'm happy because we just celebrated 39 years in power. So there is a lot that our government has done.
Now, just for clarity, when you said you're an NRM Kiswahili cadre, who is that?
Last year, in October, the president passed out a group of cadres that had been trained under the Kiswahili program of the NRM Secretariat. Why? Kiswahili cadres. As we all know right now, we are working towards a political federation of the East African community. We are heading towards having one government. And the one government in East Africa is going to come with great advantages. Great market, security, and then wide-end opportunities for our people. But you cannot talk about political integration or one single state of East Africa without talking about a language that unites us. And the only language that we believe is Kiswahili. Why? Because Kiswahili is spoken in many countries. For example, when you go to Tanzania, which has a very big population, they speak Kiswahili. Go to Kenya, it's used. Go to Rwanda, it's used. DRC, Burundi, even some parts of Southern Africa, they speak Swahili. And President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, being a visionary leader, he does not look at Uganda alone. His vision is far beyond Uganda and far beyond East Africa. He's looking at a united Africa, United States of Africa, where we have one government in Africa. And since Kiswahili is widely spoken, he saw it necessary that he creates a group of cadres that can speak Swahili, that can go out to the Ugandans, to the masses, and train them, teach them that language, so that by the time we eventually achieve the political federation, we are not left out. And I'm sure you very well know that Ugandans have been left out on many good programs that have been taking place in the East African Federation cooperation because of lack of knowledge of Kiswahili language.
So we would say in brief language barrier.
Yes, because of the language barrier.
Okay, now that well explained. Let's go to...
So that's why I say I'm a Kiswahili cadre, because I'm among that group which was commissioned by the president in October last year.
Okay, that
Yes,
well said and explained. Let's go to wealth creation as a program.
Yes.
Kindly as a cadre, you said, when you talk about this wealth creation program,
Yes.
one would say there have been a number of wealth creation initiatives
Yes.
by the government. One would say like right from the Ntandikwa. NADS was also about wealth
NADS,
creation.
yes.
Now there's this wealth creation where I saw in General Salim Saleh coming.
Yeah.
So are we looking at that particular wealth creation, or we're looking at wealth creation generally by the NRM government?
Okay. When we look at the issue of wealth creation, it's a government initiative. But we know that the government that is in power is the NRM government, the party. So we are the government belongs to us, the NRM party. So we are the ones who send them there to implement the party program, the party manifesto. So the one that is led by General Salim Saleh, that is wealth creation. So there are many, like you said, there have been many wealth creation initiatives. You talked about NADS, there was PAP. There are many, even right now, for different groups.
Definitely. We have NUSAF. Now we have the PDM.
PDM,
We
yes.
had the Youth Initiative.
Yes.
So many.
There are so many. Why are they many? Because the president, for example, the president wants to cater for all the various
You can
groups.
excuse yourself of the book. Please put it on the table.
To cater for all the various groups in the country. There are initiatives that are for the youth. For example, we have the girl child and boy child youth initiative.
Skilling the girl child and the boy child
yes.
initiative, the presidential initiative.
We have programs for the elderly. For example, we have the Myoga, we have the PDM. So they cater for different groups. And I think today we'll talk about the wealth creation, like you said. Wealth creation is one among the many government initiatives to combat the enemy, one of the enemies of our state, and that is poverty. Few years ago, many years ago, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere said that the biggest enemies of the nation, that is poverty, ignorance, and lack of education. So those are the enemies of any state. And wealth creation is one of the weapons, it's actually a weapon against poverty. And that's why we are saying that the president is going around preaching the gospel of wealth creation to make sure that he moves Ugandans from poverty to, from subsistence economy, working for food, to a situation where they enter commercialized, they enter a money economy. And one time he gave an example. I come from Bugwere. That's where I come from. I'm in Bugwere. And when he was unveiling the PDM, he did it in my district in Kibuku. And one of the words that he has been using was saying that PDM is there to help Ugandans to stop working for the stomach. Or in Uganda we say, nkolera kida. Nkolera kida, meaning you only work for the stomach. You now start working for some money. That is the reason why we have the PDM, which is now catering, which is at the parish level, whereby the government now takes money to the parishes. Why at the parishes? Because we believe that at the parish level, at the local level, people know each other. They know each other, they can work together under their local leadership, and then put the local leadership to accountability for the funds that are taken there.
Now, if I may ask you, Tom, like you said, there have been a number of initiatives by the NRM government to ensure that we eliminate poverty or reduce poverty. Now, you've just talked about the PDM, which is ensuring that 39% of our people who are out of the money economy are brought in the money economy. But so much has been injected in these projects.
Yes.
But the problem is the results are not in tandem. One would say maybe PDM is a new program, but you're talking about generally all these programs. One would say the results are not in tandem. Recently, I was in Muwende at the 39th NRM NRA celebrations. It was a success, I must say.
Yes.
Now, the president discovered that many of the beneficiaries, instead of receiving 1 million, some were getting much less. As a journalist, I spoke to a number of them. Some will tell you, yes, we were told we are receiving 1 million shillings, but I got 800,000. Some will tell you, yes, this is what arrived on my account. Now, most of these wealth creation programs, the fact is, what government is injecting is not in tandem with the change. That's why it seems every time you go back and draft a program, it is more of a try and error. Is it more of a gamble that maybe this will succeed, it fails, you bring in another, and now you're saying, we want to look, have we had meaningful impact? Has this impacted communities? Do you see the transformation that we can say since the Ntandikwa? These people have transformed, these people have changed. I would say credit to the skilling of the boy and girl child, the presidential initiative, yes, that I must say, because, but most of these others, that's why I'm interested most, Tom.
Okay. Right now, we've seen the president move around. Himself with a number of cadres, government leaders and even cadres, to see how the funds are being put into use. Well, there are some areas where people maybe have mismanaged, but that is to a less extent. As you talk about the mismanagement somewhere, somehow, you say this is a try and error. I don't think it's a try and error. It is, those programs are real. They are real and they are concrete. But as you know, in any society, sometimes you find people, there are people that are always working towards drilling the programs. And I'll give an example. While the president was moving around, there have been very many successful stories. Right from Ntandikwa, people have been evolving from one level to another. If you look at the situation that was there before, maybe by 2000, maybe 10 years ago, and now, the situation is different. I mean, people sometimes are quick to see the errors or the mistakes that are done than the achievements. And that's why when you look at PDM, one of the pillars of PDM talks about the mindset. I think those problems that we are facing are because of the mindset of people. Why, like if you see, some people, there are some people somewhere who thought maybe this money is maybe a handshake. You get a point? That is an issue of the mindset. And because the president is visionary, he foresaw it. He said, under PDM, one of the things that he has to deal with is the mindset of the people. Because there are some people who are being kept in, or keeping themselves in poverty because of their mindset. There are some people who had the land and they will not use it. For example, I know somebody who had a big piece of land, but he had demarcated almost half an acre and dedicated it to the gods. And he had a shrine there, and he said, that land I cannot do anything in it. It's for the ancestors. So that is an issue of the mindset. There are people when they are given money, they misuse it. Someone is given money and then they get half of the money. Instead of doing injecting it in business, they go and marry a second wife. That is an issue of the mindset. Or the person that is given money to give to the community and they don't give the exact amount. So the president has been dealing with the mindset. I'm very sure as a journalist you've been seeing president talking about the issue of the mindset, and we've seen even people who have misused the money, they've been arrested. But there are many, many successful stories whereby livelihoods of people in the village, at the village level, have been transformed from subsistence economy to money economy. We have people who had a person who had one cow, heifer cow, maybe 3 years ago, and was talking about, right now he has about 10 of them.
Now, would we count that person as broke? Or a person, because a person who can afford a cow.
Yes.
And is already getting milk. Now, definitely that person is in the money economy.
He's in the money economy.
Because he can raise 10,000 a day.
A day, more than 10,000. People are getting 30,000.
Yes, a day. Yeah. Now, rightly said, and of course, fellow Ugandans, all these initiatives are well planned, well thought of. The challenge comes with implementation.
Yes.
When you look at a parish getting 100 million, if you go to a period of 5 years,
yes,
that is 500 million in a parish.
Yes.
Now, that money, if used properly, can transform people in that particular parish.
Yes.
At least we can have model farmers. At least people will have knowledge.
Yes.
People will have people to look up to and say, how did you make it? Because sometimes it's not absence of money. It is absence of ideas and how to do things right for you to get the money. Now, what have been the main challenges? Why do we see that monies are injected and at the end of the day you question yourself, what went wrong?
Yes. In any society, there are always, whenever you engage in any project, there will always be some hiccups, or else there will be some limitations that will come, some problems that will come in here and there. But I want us to look at the general view. When you look at the wealth creation programs, have they brought an impact? To me, I would say the impact of these wealth creation programs is 90%.
I don't agree with you.
I don't agree with you. I can prove that.
Please do prove
that. That is
90% is a big percentage.
90%. Why? If while in Kampala here you may not prove it, but for us to look at the person in eastern Uganda, deep in the villages in northern Uganda, western Uganda, who is not here in Kampala. There are people who can spend even 1 month those days without even receiving 1,000 in their pocket. Right now, the economic situation of people has changed. We see people are into money economy. We see these border government initiatives. We see mothers who are now engaged in businesses and educating their children. We've gone to the ground and we've seen the impact.
I want you to connect these to particular government programs, because no doubt, when I go to the village, I see people in coffee.
Yes.
And these young lads are doing fair. When you talk about borders, but are these the government initiatives we are talking about?
Yes.
Or is it single hustle?
No, these are government initiatives. But also, before we talk about these government, even if somebody has hustled by himself, there is a government that has created a platform for that person to hustle.
No doubt about it.
By 1986, in the early 90s, you could not own a border and survive. But because of the peace, what the government did first created peace, whereby people are free to go and do whatever they want and they hustle and get the money. there is democracy. People can choose their own leaders and put them to task. I'll give an example. There is an example I was giving yesterday on the radio talk show. And I told them that the government has done more than what we are talking about. For example, a few years ago, I was a young man in my early 20s. After graduating, I moved. I had, my intention was to learn Kiswahili because I really wanted to learn Kiswahili. And I said I need to go to Tanzania because I believe in Tanzania I can interact and learn Kiswahili. You get the point? So when I went to Tanzania, I was able to work. I taught there for closely to 18 years. 18 years I was there. I came back with some little money, you know, a family, and then also knowledge about the language and the region. What made me go there and survive for those 18 years is because of the peace brought by the NRM government in Uganda, but also because of President Yoweri Museveni's leadership qualities, where he has created a very good relationship between Uganda and the neighboring states. People would come to me, say, where do you come from? I say, I'm from Uganda. And they say, you are the son of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. I said, yeah. They say, we love that man. Tunampenda sana Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, kiongozi mzuri, see? So, we cannot only talk about a particular program. We just have to look at a whole view of what the government has done. President Museveni has done a lot that has enabled us to hustle. Even those people who are hustling because of what the government of the NRM party under President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has done. We are even seated here. You yourself, you are a journalist. A few years ago, you would end up maybe in the Nile Mansion if you question some of the programs. But because of the peace, the democracy, freedom of speech brought by the NRM government, you are now free to work. As you're working, you're also making money. You're in wealth creation. Your family is benefiting, and you also engage in other activities.
Now, Tom, I'll be going for a short break.
Yes,
and I'll have another guest join me on set. Yes. And we'll be looking at the challenges of today. Okay. Because now, there is a very big challenge. We're talking about 1981 up to 1986. Yet you're having a generation who weren't there.
Yes.
Whose problems and challenges then may not mean much to them today.
Okay.
Because by then, you are thinking of, will I be alive tomorrow?
Okay.
Now today, they are thinking of, what will I eat tomorrow?
Okay.
How am I going to pay rent tomorrow?
Yes.
Challenges have changed, not to water down our history. But when you have the largest percentage of people who came after that period, their challenges are very complicated, and you must be able to address them. That's why you want to critically analyze that the impact of these wealth creation programs. Are they meeting the challenges of the youth today? Okay. The youth are not running from bullets. That is a done deal. Credit to you people. And of course, credit to our leader, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and there's so many who've just celebrated that. Praise the name of the Lord. But we have a challenge today. And that's where I want us to drive this show in that angle, knowing that yes, this is a problem. A big population can be a time bomb or a blessing. We'll return shortly.
Thank you.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
The Ministry of Water and Environment, in collaboration with its partners, invites you to the commemoration of World Wetlands Day on February 2nd, 2025 at Katerera Playground, Rubirizi District, starting at 9 a.m. The theme for this year is Conserving Wetlands Today for a Secure Tomorrow. The guest of honor is His Excellency the President of Uganda. Let's celebrate the vital role of wetlands in sustaining life and livelihood. livelihoods. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Water and Environment, Rubirizi District Local Government, in partnership with UNDP and GCF Project.
It's our mission to secure your money.
Protecting your money is as important as earning it. It is for this reason that the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, DPF, was established by the government of Uganda to provide deposit protection to customers of regulated financial institutions. In the unlikely event that your commercial bank, credit institution or microfinance deposit-taking institution fails, the DPF will pay you up to 10 million Uganda shillings. Keep your personal information such as national identification number, mobile phone or an alternative bank account updated with your banker. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, contact DPF at Aha Towers, Plot 7 Lodell Road, Kampala. Call 0312 206 400 or visit our website at www.dpf.or.ug.
We are the DPF. We protect your money. Protection Fund of Uganda.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukoto Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break and much thanks for being with us on UBC TV. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyito. That is in case you have just joined. And it is the extra and extension of Good Morning Uganda. We are always here from 6:30. Now this morning we are looking at the impact of the NRM government and the various wealth creation initiatives. How far have they gone as far as poverty alleviation? How far have they gone as far as poverty eradication? How far have they gone as far as reducing or eliminating poverty amongst Ugandans? Now, earlier on, I had Tom Nyiro, an NRM cadre, who is still with me, and I told you that I'll be joined by another guest. Now, Robert Kwichiriza.
Yes.
Potato. Well, he's with me on set, and we are still discussing the same topic. You're most welcome, Robert.
Thank you very much.
I think I'll be safe with Robert.
Yeah, Robert Kwichiriza. Thank you very much, Wana Chirabo. I'm happy to be here in the studio. Thank you very much for inviting us. And indeed, I'm NRM Kada Kwichiriza Robert, Senior Mobilizer, based at NRM Secretariat.
Now, earlier on, I know you've been watching via various social media platforms as you're coming in. We are still analyzing the various programs of the NRM government as far as eliminating poverty. And I was discussing with my brother here that, yes, there is a challenge now. And this challenge disturbs so many things, which is called managing success. Now, for a generation, we may not be able to tell them how guns were flying, how maybe I couldn't sit here to do a talk show. But what we can tell them is how we are addressing the problems affecting them. Because to them, it's not bullets flying, it's not moving over dead bodies, it is food, it is employment, it is their aging and scared of their future. How have these different programs addressed issues that affect the largest percentage of our population?
Yeah, thank you very much, Wana Chirabo. NRM government, under our visionary leader, President Yoweri Museveni, has done a lot for this country. You have to know the history of Uganda, where we have come from. You cannot really forget our history. You cannot forget the insecurity that was in the country. You cannot forget that President Museveni got us from the scratch. Totally nothing. Democracy came in and security. Those are the main pillars. With security, President Museveni has 100%. Now with democracy, everybody is choosing their leader. It is the responsibility of us leaders now, including us cadres, to ensure that the programs government have put in place. I'm sure Neil told you about PDM. I'm sure now the president is moving all over the country. He's in the northern region supervising 4-acre model peace. All these are aiming at eliminating poverty from the household. Now we have left giving money to from the permanent secretaries to the cows. It is coming direct into the pockets of the household heads. That 1 million, I'm very sure, if the lowest families can have it, and as you have been seeing what the president is showing us on TVs now, as he's in Guru, he left Busoga, we are seeing total change. And we are sure poverty is going to be eliminated from families.
You've talked about total change. Let's look at the magnitude. To me, this seems like a drop in the ocean. I've watched a number of successful stories by His Excellency on various addresses. He has a, projector, and you can see some of the successful stories. That is very good. But I still feel this is so thin to be felt, looking at how much government is injecting in there. If you have a parish, if you have a number of circles, and those that have excelled are not that very much. What do you make of this?
Poverty is another war. As we, NRM government, with our visionary leaders, fought insecurities, killing of innocent Ugandans. Now they are on the war. This war is not only for Uganda fighting poverty from the families. It is worldwide war. Now the families, with this current program of 4-acre model, let us embrace it. Let us divide even the smallest piece of land for those who have at least land. As the president is saying, grow coffee, grow fruits, behind the house put the cabbages, put greens, the nakatis and everything. At the end of the day, in the evening, take something to the market. The market is now, and countrywide, all these towns that they have opened the market. Ladies have been empowered. This 1 million they get, they buy those dodos. You will not really fail to earn something. Chicken in the houses, laying eggs, selling those broilers, those fast-growing chicken. I'm very sure poverty is. We must change our mindset, Wananyiro. Chirabo, we must change our mindset. Let's not wait for President Museveni to come. Let us, all cadres, including you, Chirabo, because you are always on this UBC, tell people to wake up and get out into the gardens and do something to earn something. That's not, President Museveni is talking about.
Now I want to bring in Tob here. Well, you've talked about the 4-acre model. Yes. You've talked about let's do something. I must say, if there is any person I've heard who has talked about fighting poverty, he's His Excellency.
Indeed, indeed.
But sometimes I think and feel maybe he's a lonely wolf. 39 years, he's sounded the same drum. 39 years, he's come up with different initiatives aimed at fighting poverty. But what is that is making this war? 39 years, you must say we've had some improvement, but when you move in these rural areas, believe you me, you find people in absolute poverty. You find people who can spend, you rightly said, a month without having 10,000 in their pocket. Yet they have the land, yet they have leaders, yet you the cadres from village, from LC1, NRM is represented. You come to Kampala, the president lectures you, but at the end of the day, when we go down, there is less impact.
Well, thank you, Mr. Kiravo. Like we said, the president is playing his role. He's playing his role of making sure that wealth is created in Uganda among the populations, to the common Mwananchi who lives in the villages. When you look at the issue of, you've talked about the issue of the gospel being preached for many years, and then you find some people are still poor. I think we can try to relate the kind of, okay, in those who are Christians, the Bible says that the Lord Jesus said that the poor will always be there. That's what he said. But President Museveni said, even if Jesus said the poor will always be there, for me I want to eliminate the what? To eliminate poverty and make sure that my people, among my people, there is nobody who is poor, nobody whose pocket is as dry as a desert. And that's why he brought those programs. If you compare the poverty that we talked, because I said 10 years, 20 years ago, you know, you could find someone, a month, they can't even afford 1,000 shillings. But right now, the situation has changed. There is a relatively big change. A relatively big change. And I'll give you one of the indications that can show that the government is doing much. If you move across the country, we have almost over 20 hubs, industrial hubs. I think you're very sure. I mean, you know that as a journalist. In the east, in the north, west, there are many industrial hubs that the president is establishing and has established. These industrial hubs are employing thousands of youth. To answer your question where you told me that the youth of nowadays, we should not keep on telling them the stories of the flying bullets of 1980s. Their problem is money. And President Museveni knows that. That's why we have the hubs. They're employing young men and women. They are being skilled in the presidential initiative for the girl and boy child. And they are now being employed in these hubs. When you go to the women and youth and even elderly people, we have many markets. We didn't talk about the market. The president talks about wealth creation. You plant a garden, you plant your nakati, your cabbage, dodo. It doesn't end there and say, okay, you planted, what next? take on the roadside? No. He has also built very good markets, big markets. You know that. They've been established all over here. We have one that was opened recently in Busega, where these people are engaged into wealth creation programs. They can bring their commodities well packaged and sell to the population. So the president is doing much. But the issue of, you say that the president is moving alone. It seems like he's a lone player in the fight against the monster of poverty. I cannot say yes 100%. No, he's not a lone player in that war. Our ministers are doing a great job, our honorable ministers. The executive of the NRM party, they are doing a lot. And the president has also trained many, raised up many cadres like us. And of recent, because of his vision being cross-border, he said, no, I want my people to make wealth, not only here in Uganda, but across the borders. That's why he came up with the issue of Kiswahili that you asked about, the issue of Kiswahili cadre, because I introduced myself as a Kiswahili cadre. Why? Because for us, we have to help our Ugandans. The president wants us to do the gospel, or to be at the front line of helping Afro-Ugandans cut across the borders and create wealth even across the borders. Why? Many Ugandans have been going, especially those who go to Kenya, the businessmen. As a journalist, we've had many complaints where our businessmen have been duped. They've been cheated. They go to Mombasa, Dar es Salaam, they have even to get interpreters. They are cheated because they lack the language. Now for us as cadres, Kiswahili cadres, we are there. We are the forefront. We are the front line behind our general, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and our leaders, NRM, party leaders. We are now leading the Ugandans. We are spreading the gospel, helping Ugandans to understand this language, so that they don't only...
So that there is no language barrier while transacting or doing business.
Yes, so
yes, that is a very good initiative.
So President Museveni, we can also compare him to a character in the Bible.
We are at the wealth creation.
Yes.
Yes.
A character who's well known for wealth creation strategies. That is Joseph in the Bible. Joseph, during the time, the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, during that time, there was a problem of famine. Nobody had a solution. To answer, when you say that is a lonely prayer, it's always a man that comes up with a vision, and that vision, he calls people who can help him to bear the vision. You cannot have people, all people being vision. There is always one visionary man. And that man with a vision sells the vision to others. Joseph, when there was famine in Egypt, even the king had failed. He went and he told the king, the solution to the famine, we have to make galas where we can put grains. For 7 years, we should do at saving, keep the grains, so that the 7 years of famine, when they come, this grain that we saved will save the people. And that strategy worked. But Joseph, that's why he said that President Museveni is like Joseph now. There are people who are misunderstanding him, especially those who are on the other side of the opposition. All these things you're learning, you're hearing, you see these people are mismanaging, is sometimes because of the propaganda noise.
Thank you so much, Tom. I must rush to Robert on the other side. Now, he's given us his illustrations and, of course, creating wealth, why it is very important, and the challenges. But one of the things that I find disturbing when we talk about wealth creation is the fact that for many of these programs, I don't know, but many Ugandans do not appreciate what is being given to them or put it to proper use. I remember when we had a giving out of seedlings, you'd find a Ugandan makes all kind of noise to get these seedlings, then you find them next day they are gone. He didn't even plant them. When you talk about monies, a person scrambles to get the money, then the following day you meet them and we are running after them. to pay this money. Yet they had a clear proposal. I want to believe. Yet we are told they were trained. There was a lot of scrutinizing which circle, if I may use that, qualifies individuals. You are sure there was so much preparation. Now, Robert, in your view, what is that we are not doing right?
Oh, Bwana Chirabo.
Because we can't keep on investing millions. At the end of the day, the outcome isn't in tandem. The math is not mathing.
The picture you have drawn, Bwana Chirabo, is totally different when you got on the ground. Bwana Nyira has told you that 20, 30 years, 40 years ago, poverty level was over 95%. But when you go down to the families now, I can call Fajir Mande here and we could discuss together. Even in the city of Kampala, people were walking barefooted. 1988, 1987, immediately after NRM government took over power. You look at your size, look at our size now. That size was never there. Look at the outlook of the people. Totally, this government has created a conducive environment that shows that there is something in our pocket. Poverty will never be eliminated, but at what level? This 1 million you see President Museveni is channeling to the homesteads down. I'm telling you, it has totally changed. We are no longer talking of that poverty, which was a dire poverty where people didn't. Now we have different needs. People are poor, but because they are seeing there is a lot of development, they want also to reach that level. We are talking of social economic transformation. We are no longer in that poverty and below poverty line. We have moved to a middle income status. And that's one of the pillars NRM government put in place.
Brother Robert, I know you've been around for some good time. And I must say, no doubt, there has been transformation. And I must say there's a type of class that has emerged over the years. No doubt about it. But I must quickly draw your mind to the attention of the youth problem that we are having. These are people, when you move around, let's begin with Kampala. For lack of a better word, when you move around, you see slums, you see young men, young women, who sometimes I want to call wasted. Because they have not gone to school, some of them. They have no jobs, some of them. Some of them are taken into drugs. Some of them are just a time bomb. So I want us to have those. When we go to the rural areas still, let's draw our attention to those young men who wake up in the morning, and if you ask them, what are you going to do today? It is the weather. When you talk about those in farming, let's talk about these young men who plant. Nebagamba season yetusaze. And they will tell you now, we are not growing under irrigation. We don't know our fate this time. Let's draw attention to those that really are having those challenges. Let's not move to these that are maybe seemingly they have been able to attend education, but those are the people I want to believe that my president talked about being the 38 to bring them in the money economy. Let's draw attention to that class of people.
Yeah, thank you.
How and what have we done?
Thank you, Bwana Chirabo. I'm seeing you not being realistic, really. Because skilling, Bwana Nyira has told you about skilling. This skilling the NRM government under President William Museveni has put in place does not look at the graduates, even if you were a graduate, even if you have not even gone to school completely, come to Wandegea here. Come to, there is another subway just behind
Now you're speaking
here. There is a subway. Come to Kabaragara here. Go to Mbarara. We have opened hubs. Even if you have not gone to school, but you can do welding. Even if you have not gone to school, you can weave. Even if you have not gone to school, you can learn to put a tofar on site. I'm telling you, this is a very big project under President Yoweri Museveni has put in place. Now, what I can advise, cadres, I think we should leave these things of, say, I'm a radical cadre, by the way. Multi-party dispensation has brought challenges because President Museveni has been very soft, saying, let us also pull this opposition. When they reach in those, instead of advising these young children to go for those, said, Mariketo opposing to Joko government, Museveni. When the President Museveni is giving these children a chance to study, to have a skill, when you have a skill, you will never go hungry, you will never have poverty in the home. Now, let us now be radicalist. Cadres of the NRM, we have enough trained cadres. Let them go and supervise those programs. I'm urging my government to deploy more cadres to at the parish levels to ensure these children, even those who have not gone to school, even those who have finished universities with theory subjects, to go to those hubs, learn the skills, go to the field, go to the gardens, go to those markets. I'm telling you, Uganda is very bright. You just see. You will see.
Well, time seems to be moving very fast, and I'll just have 1 or 2 minutes for each of my guests to have their parting shots. But Robert has brought out something very, very important. That is skilling the boy and girl child. An initiative, and also mentioned that we should embrace government programs because poverty is universal. It doesn't take us, depending on which political party you belong to, unless you're active in politics and you're getting a pay there. But why would you know of a government program that aims at improving your income and then you're not participating simply because it is not from your party? So I find this a challenge, and we should just broaden our minds to embrace. If it is about money, improving me to make more money, I'll go. When it comes to politics, I'll abstain from that particular thing because it's political and it's not part of my political party. But if it's wealth, then you should embrace. Now, Tom, your parting shot.
Yes, those who say we are in the struggle, the struggle should be against poverty, not against one another. This business of saying, tumujaka gende, we should fight poverty. And that's why President Museveni, after discovering that the youth have been misled by some individuals, self-centered individuals in the ghettos, decided to have cadres who are now who have gone to the ghetto. That's why you are saying that the members of the opposition are having a very hard time, because originally they had created a group of people, young men, turned them into criminals for their own individualistic gains. But now the government has gone there. Please, the youth, embrace the government programs, come to the NRM, and the NRM is there for you.
Okay, Robert, as we move out of here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chirabo. I encourage the youth, not only in Islam, all the youth are youth of Uganda. I've always thought about youth livelihood program. You go to the Equity Bank, go to Centenary Bank, there is 5 million. Go and that commercial loans officer, that money is, form a group of 15, each one should have that 5 million, which is going to make you very rich. Thank you very much, Bwana Chirabo.
Well, thank you, Tom and Robert, for your time, but above all, our viewer, thank you very much for your time, those that have been with us from 6:30 when we kicked off Good Morning Uganda, and of course the extension, which is Good Morning Uganda Extra. Now, very important to note is that there are a number of government initiatives, call them programs, that have been set and designed to get you out of poverty. Seek information, and information from the right people. Then embrace these programs. These monies are there for you, but you need to know what it takes and prepare yourself. Because don't forget, opportunity comes to those who are prepared. Have a blessed Thursday. May the good Lord be with you.
Thank you very much for hosting us, Bwana Chirabo.